Hi boys and girls, this is your Language Arts e-learning lesson for Thursday, April 23rd. We're going to take a look at grammar. We're going to be reviewing what is an adjective. Right now I'm on page 174 in your textbook. What is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. An adjective tells what kind or how many. So if you remember, an adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun, and the adjective is going to answer the question, what kind or how many? So let's take a look and review here. First section, write the adjectives in the sentences below. Do not include an or the. If you remember, an and the are articles. They are special adjectives that are called articles. They're usually in these exercises when you are asked to identify adjectives, they usually ask that you do not include the an or the. So let's take a look. And the first example, lions have large teeth and loud roars. So what are the adjectives in this sentence? We have two of them, large and loud. Large is describing the teeth and loud is describing the roars. Now remember, adjectives will describe nouns or pronouns. So in this case, they're describing nouns. Large teeth, loud roars. Good. Let's take a look at sentence number 1. Male lions have thick manes. Male lions have thick manes. And so we're looking for the adjective there. Okay, get my marker open. Okay. Male lions have thick manes. Our adjectives here, we have male and thick. Male describing the lions, thick is describing the manes. Number 2. Oh, and let's go back for a minute and take a look at what kind or how many. So here, what kind of lions? Male lions. What kind of manes? Thick manes. Number 2, they look proud and fierce. They look proud and fierce. So our adjectives here, proud, fierce. Okay. What is proud and fierce? Well, how they look. Okay. So we're describing they meaning the lions, proud and fierce. Number 3, female lions are gentle mothers. We have female. Female tells us what kind of lions. Gentle tells us what kind of mothers. Number 4, they take good care of the little cubs. Good describes or tells us what kind of care, and little tells us what kind of cubs. And in number 5, the cubs have pretty spotted coats. Here we have pretty and spotted that are two adjectives that are telling us what kind of coats. So sometimes you have more than one adjective describing a noun. So in this case we have two adjectives describing one noun. The noun is coats, and we have two adjectives, pretty and spotted, telling us what kind of coats. Okay, in the next section, it asks us to, it says to write these sentences, which you don't need to do, you're just following along. Align the adjectives and then draw an arrow from the adjectives to the nouns or pronouns described. So let's take a look at the example. Many wild animals play funny games. So many and wild are describing the animals, and funny is describing the games. Young raccoons play with small pieces of wood. Young is describing raccoons, and small is describing the pieces. What kind of raccoons? Young. What kind of pieces? Small. Black bears roll down the steep hills. Okay. Black is telling us what kind of bears. Steep is telling us what kind of hills. Number 8. Old gray otters slide down the muddy banks. In this case, we have old and gray describing the otters. Okay. old, and gray, we have two adjectives describing the otters. And then muddy banks, muddy is describing the banks. So again, what kind of otters? Old and gray. What kind of banks? Muddy. Okay, then number 9. Two squirrels enjoy a fast game of tag. We have two telling us how many squirrels, and fast telling us what kind of game. So 2 is telling us how many squirrels, fast, what kind of game. And then number 10, 4 lively elephants play with a large ball of clay. Okay, 4 is describing the elephants, and large is describing the ball. What kind of elephants, or rather, how many elephants? 4. What kind of ball? Large. Okay. All right, and then the last section, rewrite each sentence adding 2 or more adjectives. Draw an arrow from the adjectives to the noun described. Okay, so down here it would just be a case of adding in some adjectives because, for example, it says number 11, the snakes ran through the grass. Okay, snakes ran through the grass. We have no adjectives here whatsoever, so you need to add some. So maybe you would say, the slithering snakes ran through the tall grass. Okay, a monkey swings from a tree. Again, no adjectives. So a small monkey swings from a maple tree, swings from a tall tree, swings from a large tree. Okay, again, just adding in some adjectives. A brown monkey. Okay, any number of adjectives could be used. A giraffe nibbles leaves. Again, no adjectives are used here, so you might think of something to describe the giraffe. A tall giraffe, a friendly giraffe, a baby giraffe. Okay, nibbles leaves. Okay, nibbles green leaves. Nibbles the large leaves. Okay. Number 14, the bird made a nest out of twigs. Again, adjectives to tell us what kind of bird. Okay, the blue bird, the small bird. Okay, the mother bird made a nest out of what kind of twigs? Okay, fallen twigs, small twigs, old twigs. Okay, and then the last one is, the robin finds a worm in the ground. Again, no adjectives have been used, so what kind of robin, or what kind of worm, what kind of ground? Okay, the baby robin finds a small worm in the frozen ground. Okay, whatever you want to use to describe the different nouns in these sentences. Okay, so each of these sentences were without adjectives, and so then it would be up to you to add adjectives to complete those sentences. But rather than you doing that, I just wanted us to go over that. I wanted you to recognize that these sentences were without adjectives, and where it would be that you would place the adjectives. Okay, remember that adjectives are going to describe the nouns or the pronouns in sentences. Okay.